Good evening, everyone. Our second group presentation presented by Amina Rangwala, Divya-Nilay Rathod, Vachhalata Joshi, and me. The book is the Ministry of the Utmost Happiness, authored by the Arundhati Roy. And topics: key facts, contents, plot overview, important characters, major themes, research article, and learning outcome. Key facts: full title: The Ministry of the Utmost Happiness, were written in Minnesota, year published 2017, literary pride, contemporary and postmodern, genre of post-colonial literature, magical realism, political literature, realism, setting India and 2002. Climax of the novel, Tilo moves into the Jannat house funeral service to raise a baby with Anjum. Antagonist the Indian government, and narration the first and third person. Author Arundhati Roy said, I have never been a patriarchal ambition. I'm not a careerist. I'm not trying to get anywhere in a career. It is more important to engage with society, to live it, to have a different experiences, said Roy, addressing the audience at Sharjah International Book Fair. About the author, Arundhati Roy is a full name Susanna Arundhati Roy. She was born on November 24, 1961, Shillong, Meghalaya, India. Is an Indian author, actress, and political activist, and who was best known for the award-winning novel. Roy has also connected on the penning down the political issues. She was written on delivers topics such as Narmada Dam project, India's nuclear weapon, and the American power giants Iran's activities in India. She also served as a critic of the neo-imperialism and has a link with anti-globalization movement. Her career being with television and movies. She wrote screenplays for in which Annie give it those ones. 1989, a movie which talk about her experience and uh, as a, as an architecture student, and she appeared as a performer. Later, she wrote for Electric Moons 1992. Both her movies were directed by her husband Pradeep Kishan. He won the awards. Roy was awards the 1997 Booker Prize for the first written novel, The God of Small Things. And after this, she won a National Film Awards for the Best Screenplay in 1989. She also won the Lenin Foundation Culture Freedom Award in 2002 for her work regarding the civil societies that are adversely affected by the world's most tyrannically governments and monopolies. She was awarded a special recognition as a woman of peace at the Global Human Rights Award in San Francisco in 2003. Another is Sandy's Peace Prize in 2004 for her social campaigns and for promoting tolerance and non-violence. And another award in November 2011, he was awarded the Norman Millais Prize for distinguished writing. The Ministry of the Happiness, the novel. The novel has translated into the 49 languages, and also Hindi edition translated um, Manglish, Urbal, and the Urdu edition Bepana, Zahi Maniki, Mulikat have both published by Raj Kamal Prakashan, and also he website the Ministry of the Utmost Happiness is also website, and two edition as the book also, one is Urdu edition available, and is Malayalam also. And is my learning outcome the Arundhati Roy, and I compared to the Chetan Bhagat, because the Arundhati Roy is to most young readers likable, or most is unlike likable her work, because Arundhati Roy's work more difficult to compare the Chetan Bhagat works. Arundhati Roy, some novels not get proper understanding. Another side is the Chetan Bhagat novels. The youngers too likable, because to understanding by reading, and his novel with deal with some issues of caste, gender, religion, divisions based on contemporary time and the political reality in contemporary. Another part is deal with Vachlata Joshi.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, as discussed by Janvi, I'm going to deal with characters. So, here we have Aftab as Anjum, who is the son of Jahanara Begum, and his father was Mulakat Ali. He was a Hakim, and he was lineaging with the Mongol Emperor Genghis Khan. Then we have Jahanara Begum, wife of Mulakat Ali, and Al-Hambaji, midwife of Mulakat Ali. Then Imam Ziauddin, who was a blind imam in the masjid of Delhi, where Jahanara Begum took Aftab for the solution. Kulsumbi is the Ustad of Khwabga. Khwabga was a place for transgender, and here are the character name: Bombay Silk, Mary, Gudia, and Bulbul, Razia, Saida, Nimo Gorakhpuri, Bismillah, Bimla, and Zainab is a child. Later on, she marries Saddam Hussein, who was Dayachand. There is a part two, which is a graveyard and Jannat guest house. In this part, we have Zakir Mia, contractor Gupta, Dr. Azad Bhartiya, Saddam Hussein, and Sherawat. So, Zakir Mia was a man who met Anjum when there was a riots in Ahmedabad, and then they after a shock they moved to Jannat, where Anjum meet this Gupta, and he got the contract to create the guest house. Then Azad Bharti was a man from Jantar Mantar who was a protester who wanted to kill Sherawat, who was allegedly blamed for the murder of Dayachand's father. And Saddam Hussein was Daya Chand and wanted to take revenge of his father's death. Then there is a third part, Kashmir and Dandakaranya, in which Biplab Das Gupta, S. Tilotama, Nagaraj, and Musa. These four were friends in a school, college, and Chitrarupa was a wife of Biplab Das Gupta. Then Arifa Yesvi was the wife of Musa, and Jabin the first was daughter of Musa and Arifa, who died. And then here we have Captain Amrik Singh was an officer, and Jalib Qadri was a human rights activist who was murdered by Amrik Singh. Then we have Lavlin Singh as a wife of Amrik, and then ACP Pinky Sodi, who was a brutal interrogator. Then Balbir Sodi, Pinky's brother, Revati, the mother of Udaya, and Revati was the one who was brutally raped by six police officers, and then she gave birth to Udaya. Then later on, when Musa finds her, he renames her as the Jabin second. So here are the major characters I have found. And my learning outcome is how to tell a shattered story by slowly becoming everybody. No, by slowly becoming everything. This is the quote written on the epitaph of Tilo. And then I found that how the pages of history and one by one revealed by Arundhati Roy, and how Jantar Mantar symbolizes a place for protesters. The life of Aftab ended as Anjum is a reality of each intersex born baby. Meanwhile, the incident of death of Zakir in the riots shows the truth behind the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The novel covers history, myths, contemporary riots, life of transgender community, and their survival. While reading the novel, we can see through the words of author. In many parts, we can see uh, the uh, the life of Anjum is having very ups and downs, where he was saved because of his intersex, where Zakir Mia was murdered by several saffron parakeets in Jantar Mantar, uh, whereas the thing that Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which means world, we are one and world is everything for us, is currently getting wrong in this sense. Now Amina will deal with the plot summary.
Good afternoon, everyone. The summary is divided into three. The summary is divided into three parts. The first part is about Anjum, the Khwabga. Second part is about Jantar Mantar, and third part is about Kashmir. The story starts with the present life of Anjum, and then it moves to her past. Aftab is a boy, and he was born with both the gender, male as well as female, in old Delhi and rise as a boy. However, Aftab never was comfortable with this and when reaches to adult. And here, when he was born in Khwabga, his mother Janara Begum, uh, there is a dialogue between them. Janara Begum was very much worried with the sex of Aftab. So he has very many reactions. She only was knowing was Urdu. Janara Begum was only knowing was the Urdu. She tells all the things, not just living things, but all the things: carpet, clothes, book, pens, musical instruments had a gender. Everything was either male or female, man or woman. Everything except her baby. Yes, of course, she knew there was word of those like him, hijra. Two words actually, hijra and kinar, but both words do not make a language. Was it possible to live without language? This dialogue was delivered by Janara Begum, and then later on she takes Aftab to Hazrat Shamrat Sahid for the later on, the story moves on to the Khwabga. The Khwabga means the house of the dreams. This is a community of non-conformants, many who are either intersex or transgender, like Anjum. Calling it home, she remains there. There are 30 years, and there are many more names in that. Bombay Silk, Razia, Hira, Baby, Nemo, Mary, Gudia, who lived together in Haveli with a blue doorwell, and that they had as Ustad a guru called Kulsumbi. Kulsumbi was a leader for this group of transgender who lived in a Haveli. Then calling it home, she remained there for 30 years, during which she became a mother figure to a little girl named Zainab. She met Zainab on the stairs of Jama Masjid, and she took her. Then the narrative shifts to Tilotama. Tilotama is also known as Tilo in the novel. the woman who took the baby. The story flashes back to her college days where narrative split together with the story of two men, Musa, Tillo, and the third character is Biplab Das Gupta. They three were in the same university and they three were having a good friendship. And one character is Nagraj. They all participated in a drama which name is the Norman. Norman is you is a play in which Tilotama was doing a lightning work. Tilo was a dark-skinned, smart woman, had been a very close to an architecture student called Musa Yakwi in university. Tilo was having a boyfriend, but later she marries to the Nagraj and then Musa and his after university, Musa and Tilo reconnected short. This Nagraj and Tilo had married and separated after the 14 years of their marriage, and then again she meets to Musa. She got a letter from a Musa, and there was an address written that you meet me on this place in Kashmir. So she later goes to Kashmir and meets Musa. Musa and his friend Commander Gulrez raised the attention of Indian bureaucrats by the ruthless Major Amrik. Amrik Singh was a very cruel officer, and Singh also was torturing his suspects brutally and captures Musa and Gulrez. Musa manages to accept, but Gulrez was killed. Gulrez was a friend of Musa, and Tillo was watching. Shaken up and realizing how close she came to catch up with an extremely dangerous plot, Tillo decided to play safe and marry Naga. And she married Nagraj, and 14 years later she got divorced, and then she rented an apartment and there she was living. And they reconnect but soon disappears again with the baby from the observatory. This the baby is a suspense. She has named her Miss Jubin the second after Musa's land daughter. Anjum finds her and invites both of them to move into the guest house. Then the narrative flashes back to show how Miss Jubin the first died in the conflict of Kashmir, and she and Musa's wife Arifa are shot by the soldiers. In this novel, Musa's wife Arifa and Miss Jubin first was also the daughter of Musa, and they both were killed by the soldier. This Arifa has gone to see the funeral of Hamid. I forgot. Although Major Singh later tries to make a peace with Musa by paying him off, Musa angrily rejects him and goes under. Uh, when uh, Tilotama uh, when Tilotama leaves Musa, at that time she was pregnant with Musa's child, and she later chooses to do abortion. And back in the present, the resident of Jannat celebrates the Zainab's wedding to fellow residents Saddam. Uh, Saddam is also known as Dayachan in the novel, and he wanted to take a revenge for his father because Sherawat had done lynching with his father, and Zainab is the daughter of Anjum, where she got from the Jama Masjid stairs, and she has lived her in the Khwabga, and she has moved to Jannat guest house. And later on, Zainab gets married to Saddam Hussein. And one day they receive a letter written by Miss Jubin the second's mother. Miss Jubin the second mother is Comrade Messi Revati, was raped by the six soldiers, and although she could not care for her child, she reveals her name Udaya. Uh, Revati was a communist, and she wrote a letter, and letter was delivered by Biplab Das Gupta, and the whole letter was read by him, in which Revati has revealed everything from his how from his family background to how this Miss Udaya was born. Everything was told in that letter. The book ends as a grandson Howard reads through the titles document. This grandson Howard is also the character named Biplab Das Gupta. Has the play which I told the Norman is that you has he played that role of grandson Hobart in that play. Both are the same characters. Musa arrives at his apartment and they talk about, and then later on this Tilotama, again there is a talk of Jantar Mantar where Tilotama goes, Anju was taking the baby with him, the baby should be, her name was Udaya, she was taking, but later everyone told that you are Hijra, you cannot take the baby. So Tilotama took the baby and she disappeared with the baby. And then later on this Musa arrives to the apartment and they talk about the Kashmir, and Musa saving that conflict will country explode one day, and Musa joins Tilo at the this Tilotama goes to Jannat. Anjum invites Tilotama at the Jannat, and there she and this baby Miss Udaya Zubin, they both were living there, and Tilotama has died, and then Musa joins and they both talk with each other, and then again Musa was a terrorist and he goes there goes to Kashmir, and then he was killed, and Anjum takes Miss Udaya Zibin for a walk. Tilotama has died, so Anjum is now taking the care of Miss Udaya Zibin, and then he takes her for a walk in the Delhi, and the last scene which was end by the small dung beetle observe the world around, and in this novel there is a last line because Miss Udaya Zibin was come in this Arundhati is trying to whether she is trying to say that now the new world will come and there would be changes after the Miss Udaya second has come. My learning outcome, the story begins and ends in the graveyard, and in between there are so many incidents took place, and the story is very mysterious. It goes to present to past, and while reading the first chapter we get the end, we get the story between seventh or sixth chapter. There is a revelation of that story, so the story is very complicated while reading, and the most character I liked was the Anjum after character. I found that how the transgender faces the problem in society is the real struggle, and even the same struggle is going on, even though the rules are made for them, but society is still not accepting them. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. So I deal with themes. First is corruption, political violence, and capitalism. So the novel is a portrait of contemporary post-colonial Indian politics. It highlights corruption in all political groups involved, and the Indian army and Indian leftists who opposed the occupation of Kashmir, and Kashmir locals and militants who apparently resist the military occupation. So not only the political leaders, but even Kashmiri Muslims also involved in political violence. So Roy ultimately sheds light on the ways in which corrupt capitalism undermines the supposedly moral intention of the groups involved in the Kashmir conflict. So there is the interview. Sorry, there is the investigation by Musa that the boy Aizaz. He shares with he shares with Nagaraj there, who is journalist but corrupt journalist. He corrupt because he
he gave the news as what government wants uh, from the journalist or from the media. So Azaz shares with Nagraj that the militant group buys their ammunition from the army, explaining that they don't want the militancy to end. What they are very happy with the situation as it is. Everybody on all sides is making money on the bodies of young Kashmirs. So that suggests that how Kashmir government is corrupted. They not go with humanity, but they use violence and for their political use. Then again, Biplab Das Gupta said that everyone picked up was always dreaded, seldom less than A category, because each of those adjectives had a responding incentivity. So Indian soldiers are willingly to undermine their own supposed mission to win the war against Kashmir for capital gain. And what Nagraj embodies the corruption of the media, as I told. Then resilience and hope. So in Jharna Begum, we can read resilience that Jharna Begum went to Hazrat Sharmat Sahib Masjid, that uh, 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 this spirit that helps Anjum's mother to love Anjum. So what Hazrat Sharmat Sahib had that spirit that she prayed that I quote, this is my son Aftab. She whispered to Hazrat Sharmat, I have brought him here to you. Look after him and teach me how to love him. Hazrat Sharmat did, unquote. So this resilience we can read in Dharna Begum's character. Then again hope, we can read that Miss Udaya. So at the end of the novel, Miss Udaya Miss Udaya, that Uday, that's Sanskrit meaning, Uday word Sanskrit meaning that there is sunrise. So at the end of the novel, there is there perhaps what Roy put, that metaphor for future and a new beginning. So the Udaya comes with the hope and represent hope in the face of violence, and the second chance to building a better future for Kashmir, or corrupted Kashmir, we can say. Then third is gender identity, social division and coexistence. Gender identity and coexistence, we can read Anjum's character, and social division, we can read Nemo's character, who is the stay with Anjum at Kwabga. Anjum, a transgender woman, that in Urdu we can say Ijra, that we know that she was a transgender woman. That Roy challenges not only the idea of a gender binary, but also other artificial forms of social division that we can read in Nemo's character, and particularly nationality and religion. And as Anjum's identity, we know that is Muslim identity. So instead of gender identity, we can read we can read this religion binary also, that Anjum's marginalized identity literally saves her life. That as we know in the that plot summary, that she pilgrims with her father's friend. See, sorry, I forgot name. Her father's friend. Then he saved, because that particular mob said that वो बद्दुआ देंगे. So she saves because of her identity, that transgender. So killing hijras brings bad luck. So that's why she saves. She saved the folklore surrounding Hijra, that they are holy soul trapped in bodies protects her. This we can say that Anjum protects Anjum protected. So suffers discrimination in her society for being a hijra. While social so in Nemo's character, we can read social divisions. There's conversation between Anjum and Nemo that Anjum said that Khwabga is the very dreaming place for her, while Nemo disagree with Anjum that no one's happy here. The war is inside us. That war is Indo-Pak is inside us. It will never settle down. So the social division we can read that partition between Pakistan and India. We can read through Nemo's character. Then after disagree with Nemo's character, then we read coexistence in Aftab's character. That Nemo's pessimistic outlook, thinking to himself that he was happier than he had ever been. This suggests that he himself might also have an understanding that the binary is artificial. So she accepts her coexistence of her gender identity as feministic and masculinity both points, and a recognition that multiple genders can coexist within the same being. Fourth theme is social hierarchy versus social inclusivity. For social hierarchy, we can read Biplab Das Gupta's character that he considered himself as upper caste and upper class oppressor from every angle, or in other words, a tragedy less man. Then and again he has a social hierarchy, though he failed to failed to express his feeling towards Tillu. And social inclusivity, we can read Anjum's character, and as uh, Anjum represent, or Anjum said Jannat house, which means paradise, the only space of utopia. So in the other word, that the one clear criterion was that Jannat funeral services would only bury those whom the graveyards and imams of the dunya had rejected. So the dunya, that real world, has rejected. So in Jannat there is no any gender biases. They welcomed every person who are who who are who are not considered from dunya. Then religion and power. The last theme is the characters observed. Every characters observe and experience in the novels stem from conflicts between Hindu and Muslim. As we know that the settings also suggest that partition of Pakistan and Kashmir. So while reading Anjum's character, that she goes on the pilgrimage Muslim place for worship, as that earlier slide, as I mentioned that she saved because of her identity, but here she disappears because of Hindu extremist attacks response to the burning of a train full of Hindus by Pakistan terrorists. So that attacks of that train, that suggests that religion conflicts, and then unofficial spokesperson. That unofficial spokesperson is considered as the government. They are not investigate officially from those Muslim for those person who are Muslim, and how they murder and why they murder, they are not officially investigate. So the word that Roy puts that unofficial spokesperson. So that the government is not officially advocating for the murder of Muslim citizens. The ruling party has an unofficial spokesperson say this. Then again, power, that we know that Gujarat ka Lalla is now on the way to climb Delhi. That a politician who deeply involved with the Hindu nationalist movement. That this narration is that swept the pole and was the new prime minister. People idealized him, and temples in which he was presiding deity began to appear in small towns. My learning outcome is that the book cover, by seeing or observing that hard cover of the book, that seems like something that is lovable story is there, but it is completely opposite while we go to the narration through the Biplab Das Gupta, that landlord there, and that narrative technique is quite complicated. Then we the novelists start with the past of Anjum's life there in a graveyard setting, but then we start with present, sorry, in graveyard setting. Then we go to her past, and again that past then present is there. That it is tried to engage ourselves till the end, but because of that complexity of that narrative technique, somewhere that like some like that desire to keep the novel because of that narrative technique. And there is the line is that it was nothing but still it was something in the Khwabga chapter, that it's something that become realistic or realistic or not. That it from the very starting of the novel, perhaps Roy suggests that something that become realistic or historical events are there. So one thing that I observed, that hybridization of emotions, that this again very complicated because of there is romance is there, satire on government is there, identity crisis, political environment is there, thriller also, reality also, history also. So still it is conflict, with that dilemma, that what should we keep with one particular flow, what should we keep with that flow and read. So though it is colorful because of Roy puts real events, real places. It is like it is colorful because of the reality that author put with certain emotions. Thank you. Then the further Nilay Rathod.
Hello, I am going to present about the articles written on the Ministry of Utmost Happiness by Nati Roy. I have chosen 5 articles. First one is Too Much Blood for Good Literature, Arundhati Roy's Ministry of Utmost Happiness and the Question of Realism by Filippo Menozzi. This was published in the Journal of Postcolonial Writing. It focuses on the examines the way in which the novel engages with the traditional of realism in literature and how it challenges the subvert and convention of tradition. This article also discussed the ways in which novel uses element of magic realism, superstition, and the grotesque create a unique, innovative literary style. The second is published on Pakistan Journal of Language Studies. Arundhati Roy's novel *The Ministry of Utmost Happiness*, a study of innovative use of translation and intertextuality by Ghazala Tabassum. In this article, he mainly focuses on how the translation and it is intertextual. Like he gives one example from the book, the ghazal. Like originally, it was "मर गए बुलबुल कफस में." The word "bulbul" is translated as a the little bird. Like she died in her cage, the little bird. So here, Tabussum is trying to say that. Somewhere this improvisation is distorting the identity matrix of the protagonist. Third is stitched together the threads of light, perturbatory narration, queer necropolitics as bipower and transversality in Arundhati Roy's The Ministry of Utmost Happiness. In this article, it examines how these literary techniques and concepts are used in the novel to explore themes of identity, power, and resistance. This article also considers the political and social implications of these themes and the ways in which the novel engages with contemporary debates. This one by Oindrila Lahiri is not a journal article, but it is a review kind of article on Wire, in which she gives a review that how the this novel is not deserving the prize or the Booker Prize. Like it discussed the merit of themes of novel and presents author's perspective on whether or it is not deserving the major literary awards. Here, the Ministry of Utmost Happiness leaves, as she said, nothing open-ended or to the imagination. Instead, it impatiently spells out each practice peculiarity in it begs the question who was it for, and she also writes that unlike the popular fiction, it does not makes us curious or uh, make a like a unputable novel. It is not like that. So what I think that it is not a part of a popular fiction. It tries to portrays the bitter truth of our society or India through this transgender and social divergence. The last one is Arundhati Roy on the Ministry of Utmost Happiness. It is an interview by of Arundhati Roy, in which she answers some questions and discusses about the novel. As Orin Lahiri said that unlike America or 12 killings, the Ministry of Utmost Happiness lacks the creativity and subtlety needed to turn issues and themes into engaging literary masterpiece. The storyline manages to hold our sympathy, but drama cannot hold within the innate multiple political emotional surgeries the author want to conduct. So here what she is trying to say that this novel is not bringing the drama like popular fiction or movies learning outcome like when I was looking for the articles on this novel as well as the dissertation, I found that many good articles are not open source like JSTOR, Rotalberg, Springer, they are providing good articles, but they they are not open source. We need to subscribe to them to get access to these articles. Roy wanted to bring the subcontinents castaway under one roof. Complexities like in her interview, she said herself that she wanted to bring the uh, character or subcontinent under one roof. So she has tried to put all the characters, and she had focused on all the characters, and it makes readers very irritating because it is not any like we fantasy that we enjoy, but it is a bitter truth. So that's very obvious that we would not like it or we would not read it for a long time. These are works cited. Thank you.